One of the biggest rivalries in the entirety of modern-day Formula One was the one between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. The public knew them as rivals on the track, but behind the scenes, they very much hated one another at a point in their careers. So stay tuned to today's video as we discuss what happened between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen behind the scenes. First up, why Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen hated each other. After all of the years of on-track and behind-the-scenes beefing, it seems that we finally understand why Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton sometimes hated each other whilst fighting for the title of the Formula One 2021 season. In the public eye, the pair went head-to-head in a very close-fought battle for the World Championship back in 2021 and its respective season. However, their rivalry went deeper than that, as behind the scenes they hated each other at certain moments. The rivalry itself occasionally resulted in some extremely tense moments, both on and off the track. However, whilst their relationship was very strained at certain moments in their careers, Max Verstappen has stated that their relationship ended up returning to normal after they both acknowledged each other after Max Verstappen earned the title they were both so focused on getting. They both looked each other in the eye after the event, Max Verstappen said to BBC, and didn't say a lot to each other, but they both realized that they appreciated the fight and respected each other. Sometimes in their career they hated each other, but that's fine, Verstappen said. It just shows how competitive both of them were and how incredible the driver they each were respectively. They both gained some sort of respect for each other during that season, even if at points they did hate one another. It's just a natural thing, as both of them had the same goal, but only one of them could achieve victory. Even after all of the drama that occurred with Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton during that time, the two are seemingly friends, and it brought each other closer. Was Lewis Hamilton cheated out of a victory? In terms of the season-closing race in Abu Dhabi during 2021, there was a lot of contention surrounding it during the following months. A huge amount of drama came into the Formula One space as people felt like Lewis Hamilton was cheated out of a victory. This race brought the entire championship to a close, so only Max Verstappen or Lewis Hamilton could have won the event. Of course, Max Verstappen ended up winning, but that doesn't mean it didn't come without any contention. During the last 5 laps of the event, a safety car was deployed which led Verstappen to a pit for fresh and softer tires, whilst Lewis Hamilton had to remain on the track in the lead with an old set of hard tires that he didn't need anymore during that stage of the race. With just 1 lap remaining in the event, the safety car was brought back in and taken off the track. 5 cars in between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton were allowed to unlap themselves after the safety car was taken back in. Max Verstappen was therefore able to catch up to Lewis Hamilton and overtake him due to his softer and easier to drive tires. This meant that the Red Bull driver clinched the race win as well as the title overall, taking it from Lewis Hamilton, who was going to win without Max Verstappen getting a free and easy tire change. After the event happened, Lewis Hamilton was seen congratulating his opponent Max Verstappen. However, in a previously unheard radio message that was leaked to the press during the final moments of the event, Lewis Hamilton was heard saying that this has been manipulated. He felt like the race was tweaked for him to lose, and for Max Verstappen to get an easy overtake with his softer tires. Despite all of this, Max Verstappen believed that he and Lewis Hamilton could continue to hold a high level of respect for one another even after all the controversy. He was quoted as saying that emotions still run very high, just as it has done in the past. Throughout the entire season, they continued to have high emotions for one another, so he thinks it's a normal thing between them. It was very nice that immediately after the race, Lewis Hamilton came up to Max Verstappen. Both of them had several moments throughout the year where they clashed, but ultimately they respected one another. They pushed each other to their actual limits, and most of the time it was due to themselves as well as what the car could do. In terms of the other teams, they were also pressured to make a lot of right calls. The two of them always had to deliver their best, otherwise they knew that another guy would beat both of them and take over their title. In terms of looking back at the past, both Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton can look back at this time during 2021 and its respective season whilst always cherishing it. Even with all of the beef between the two, it was a huge moment in both of their careers and might have been that peak of both of them, especially now that Lewis Hamilton is seemingly retiring from the sport after this next season. Will this rivalry continue in the later Formula One season? Max Verstappen has come out and said that he can understand all of the difficulties that Lewis Hamilton faced in losing out on the title in such a way, but hopes that their overall rivalry will continue into the 2022 season and beyond. In an interview not too long after the race, he said that it must have been incredibly tough on Lewis Hamilton and his team. He has won 7 titles in the past, so maybe that comforts him in some way. It's not like this was his only chance at getting a title, but it was going to be a momentous moment for Lewis Hamilton if he did win this title. He would would have broken all records set in the past and would have easily become one of the best Formula One drivers to have ever existed in the history books. However, many people can argue that he has already met that goal, but just wanted to do something further to stand out even more. Things didn't end up that way, and Max Verstappen took the lead. It's not the end for Lewis Hamilton, though, as if he wins this next tournament, he will be in the history books for a different reason. Max Verstappen then went on to talk about how next year he hopes that Lewis Hamilton will continue delivering his very best, which is at a very high level. It does depend on their cars, however, but personally, Max Verstappen hopes that he continues with the rivalry between him and the Briton. Lewis Hamilton is an amazing competitor, and Max Verstappen said it was a real pleasure driving against him. Please let us know your thoughts about all this in the comment section below, as well as what might happen in the next season between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. And now on to some other Formula One news and information to wrap up today's video. Finally, Formula One is set for a surprise Grand Prix in 2023. The Chinese Grand Prix might make a surprise reappearance on the Formula One 2023 calendar. This is coming just weeks after it was officially confirmed that the Shanghai race would not take place during this year's calendar, which came as a huge surprise to the fan base. The Chinese Grand Prix had its first run back in 2004 and became an annual fixture in the ongoing Formula One calendar until 2019. Every subsequent version of this race fell victim to the country's strict COVID-0 protocols. It was then announced on December 2nd that the Chinese Grand Prix would once again not take place during 2023, as Formula One found it difficult because of the current COVID-19 situation in the country. However, since the announcement became public, China has rapidly rolled out various COVID-related restrictions as well as new protocols in response. They are now set to remove all quarantine requirements in the country for international arrivals following January 8th. The Chinese Basketball Association, as well as the football's Super League, have also recently welcomed new fans back into stadiums from around the world. This comes after 2 years of playing and empty arenas and in centralized COVID-19 secure bubbles. With the recent removal of these COVID-related restrictions and the creation of a much more welcoming environment for hosting larger-scale events, it seems like Formula One might have the Chinese Grand Prix back in its horizons. According to RacingNews365.com, it looks like well-placed sources in China have said that the Chinese Grand Prix promoter is now intent on hosting the race during 2023 with its original April 16th start date. It has also been confirmed through this source that they have presented this to the Formula One board as well. Despite the country's current COVID-0 protocols preventing the Chinese Grand Prix from taking place since 2019, Formula One has been keen to keep Shanghai on the calendar. They even extended their contract in November 2021 up until 2025 with Shanghai. There are still a lot of hurdles to overcome to get the Shanghai race in order. However, if this still is the 4th year in a row without a Shanghai race, it isn't going to be the end of the world, as next year we will most likely get to see the Shanghai race once again. At the end of the day, we are sure Formula One is going to be elated if they do get the Shanghai race in April of this year, but we will have to wait and see for more official sources to come out about it. Please let us know in the comment section below your thoughts on this small piece of Formula One news, as well as what we've spoken about in the rest of today's video. And that's all we have to discuss why Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen hated each other during the 2021 season of Formula One, as well as some other news and information in today's video. Please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hopefully you enjoyed this latest video. If you did, would you please let us know in the comments section below? It would be very helpful. Make sure to like the video, comment down below, and of course, subscribe to the channel with the notification bell rung. Thank you for watching. Bye.